welcome to the Sustainable Entrepreneur Training Program. We also call it SET. It's an acronym, Sustainable Entrepreneur Training, SET. My name is Stefan During, and I'm your lead professor teaching you the principles of starting and running a company, a successful and sustainable company. A little bit about my background. I've been doing this for about 35 years. I've started and run 7 different companies in that time period. Some have been very successful, some have been, one I took into bankruptcy, others have failed. So I've seen both sides and both extremes of it all over the years. I've also worked with thousands of entrepreneurs over the last 20 years. I've taught, trained entrepreneurship. I've taught courses at Columbia University here in New York City. I've taught the New York City Fast Track programs. I've worked for State University of New York, Stony Brook, SUNY Stony Brook, and many other schools in this country and overseas as well. So again, I'm going to be your host and I'm going to be taking you through this process. Let's talk a little bit about the purpose of the course. The course is to essentially take you from it's going to be accelerated and discovery learning. And we're taking you from the idea of your company to pitch ready. That process normally takes an entrepreneur to go from idea to pitch ready. It takes about 6 to 9 months. You're going to be doing it in a compressed time period. Depending on the course that you've signed up for is how long it'll take you. But 6 to 9 months, whoosh, shrunk down, and that's what we're going to be taking you through. Where also the learning model is essentially, the process is kind of like an iceberg, if you can picture an iceberg. You know, you have the water line, you have 20% of the iceberg above the water, you have 80% below the water. The 20% above the water is going to be for your formal learning. That's going to be in classes, the contributing, and so on. We're going to go into that in a minute. The other 80% is what you're going to be doing outside of class. So, the formal learning is going to be about an hour to an hour and a half, depending on the class and how much material we have to cover for the day. And then the 80%, and that's 20%. The 80% is going to be below the waterline, and that's going to be about 2.5 to 3.5 hours, 2.5 to 3 hours. And that's going to be comprised of watching these recordings. The recordings are going to be about, depending on the class, 45 minutes to an hour, maybe an hour plus. It'll be playing Genesis, the game. The game is in beta. We're going to be talking more about that. And you'll be doing that for about 30 minutes. And then you're going to be doing your assignments and working on your business and coming up with, okay, what is my business idea and how do I make it better and blah, blah, blah. That is going to take you about an hour plus or minus as you work through the course. There's going to be project work. There's going to be activities and reflection. And all of that combined is going to take you about 3.5 to 4.5 hours per class as you go through the course. We'll talk more about that in a moment. We're also going to be, one of the cool things about, or at least what I think one of the cool things about this course is that you're going to be learning, we're going to be learning from each other. I'm going to be learning from you, you're going to be learning from me. Entrepreneurship is a result of collaborations between the professor and the students, myself, and others. So all of that is going to be this course. Again, idea to pitch ready. And to make that happen, there are 5 focus areas. The first one is marketing. The second is financials. We're going to be going into financials with you. Business orientation, vision and values, and sustainability. Again, marketing your business, how you're going to brand it, put it together, market it, and so on. The financials, how much do you need to raise, how much money do you need to get to break even, what is break even, blah, blah, blah. We cover that. And then the business orientation, what does that mean? That's like, okay, how do I put my team together? What's the vision? What's the projections of the company and so on? And then what are my vision? What's my vision? What do I want? What do I want this company to be all about? And the values of that. And then sustainability, we'll talk a lot about sustainability and why sustainability makes good business sense, and how to integrate that into any kind of business. You don't have to be a sustainable business, but how do I integrate that, and why should I do that from a business perspective as well as sustainability perspective. So those are the four. Those are the the 5 focus areas of the course. The program outcomes, what you're going to get out of it by taking this course, is a robust marketing plan. Necessary resources are going to be identified: financial, your team, legal stuff, and marketing. What are you going to need to launch your business? And then exactly how are you going to get finance? How much money you need? Where are you going to get it from? What are you going to offer in return? Those kind of things. And then also, and finally, the program outcome of is going to include how you're going to integrate and leverage social and environmental components into your business model. So how are you going to build that into your business? So again, program outcomes are marketing plan, resources that you're going to need, where you're going to get your money, and how are you going to integrate environmental and social components into your business. Okay, in our first class, we're not going to do it now, but in our first synchronous class, live, where we're with each other, everybody's going to introduce themselves. So we know each of you in the class, and you're going to know us, and so we can start working together and collaborating together. Let's go over the materials you're going to need and have for the class. So the first material is what we call the Entrepreneur's Manual, or for short, EM. And we have an entrepreneur manual chapter, if you will, for each class that you have. So EM1, EM2, EM3, all the way up to EM13, I believe. So the materials are online, they're digital, you're going to download them, you're going to use them, and they're very lean. There's not a lot of reading. The reason is we don't want you reading, we want you out there on the street building your business. This class is about doing, not reading about how it is done. You're going to complete, and you're going to have a complete and thorough worksheets to do this. So worksheets include having a business financial statements. You're going to be building your own financial forecasting, your marketing, your team building. That's going to be all worksheets you're going to be filling throughout the course. You're going to have pages for interim assignments, like, hey, to learn more about marketing, read these articles if you want, and so on. And you're going to have robust references and resources listed. Then Genesis, the game, the online game, again, it's in beta, and we're going to have quizzes in the game. As you're playing the game, you're going to be learning about entrepreneurship, and then you're going to have a quiz. You're going to have reviews of high-level key points that we talk about here. We're going to talk a little bit about in class, and you're going to be using Genesis to learn even more about it. So the intention is that the repetition and the details are going to give you what you need to really knock this baby out of the park with your with the course and get an A in the course. Okay. Additional resources are going to be supplemental articles, things for you to read, things for you to do if you want to learn more about it. You're going to have homework assignments to work on your business model and integrate it, and then sharing it with the class. So there's a lot of stuff to help you really develop your business model. Now let's go over what we call the process agreements. The first one is that you're going to show up to class. The class is going to, like I told you, is going to be about an hour, hour and a half, depending on the class and the session and how much material to cover. In class, we're going to do conversations. We're going to have learning, we're going to have sharing, we're going to do group discussions, and we're going to do some of the work in the class. So again, class is all about conversations, learning, collaborating, sharing, and then working on your business and getting feedback from fellow students and the professor on your business idea. And then after class, the 80%, after class, you're going to be continuing to do the work. You're going to do some group sharing and so on. You're going to play Genesis. You're going to watch these recordings, and you're going to have supplemental readings to help you in any way possible. Okay, now let's talk about grades. The grades are part of the process agreement. So in return, you're going to get grades. You're going to get graded on 4 things. The first thing is attendance, 10%. Participation in class, 10%. Assignments, 40%. And then final presentation is 40%. Again, attendance, 10. Participation, 10. Assignments, 40. And presentation, final presentation, 40%. Again, expect to spend about 3.5 to 4.5 hours per class on this course. The first hour, hour and a half is class, the actual class, the online synchronous. And then also you're going to, outside of class, you're going to be working on the assignments, playing Genesis, and watching the video recordings. Total, about 3.5 to 4.5 hours, depending on your idea and how much work you want to put into this. So I'm very much looking forward to working with you throughout the course. I'm going to be in the recordings. You're going to see a lot of the detail. The next one we're going to start is class 1, and we're going to go, it's going to be a hybrid of the slides and me talking you through the slides. Okay, see you in a moment.